So we're going to talk about Liam Payne from One Direction. As you guys know, he fell out the balcony of the third floor. Um, Unfortunately, he did not make it. He passed away. But there was a lot of controversy. There was a 911 call that said that there was an aggressive guy in the lobby. Somebody was able to take him to his room, smash the TV, drugs everywhere. They don't know if he was hallucinating or not. It didn't seem like he wanted to unalive himself. But again, when you're hallucinating, you don't know what you're doing. Now, the weird part about it is that his girlfriend was just with him a couple of days ago. And she said, they're supposed to stay for 5 days, but ended up staying for 2 weeks. Now, the thing is, I don't know if he was doing drugs around her, but what happened was that when he was at this hotel, he was able to talk to one of the employees and he got drugs. Now, TMZ is reporting that the drug was called cristal. Now, the only crystal I know is the meth. That's the crystal that I know. Now, this is not his current girl, or who was his current girlfriend. This is his ex. We're going to talk about Maya Henry in a minute. But he had a whole bunch of... Okay, here's the bathtub. Here's the room. You see Dove soap right there. You see all the powder. This is the infamous TV everybody's been talking about that was smashed. Yeah. He was really on one, you guys.
A lot of people say that there is an analogy for what Trump is
doing. I don't know what that's. How did video all of a sudden start? Hold on, I don't want that one right now. Hold on, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. It started playing a YouTube video before I was ready. Yeah, but you see all this in his room. And it's just kind of like, damn, what was he going through? Well, what he was going through was a situation with his ex. His ex-girlfriend, Maya Henry, who I showed you guys a picture of, actually wrote a book. Now, the book was said to be fiction, but it was actually based off of their relationship. There was even a part in the book where it said, like, the guy convinced the girl to get a smortion. I don't want to say the real word, but when you go to the chop shop, because he didn't want a baby. That was based on their real relationship. And so she had came out a few days before his passing and basically put him on blast about how he's been harassing her and doing all this stuff. There was even another interview that she did on YouTube with The Internet is Dead. I just discovered them today. And they had interviewed her, and then this is what she said. Again, this was before Liam's passing.
Felt like it was a manipulation tactic to keep me, I don't know, it's kind of complicated, but I always felt like it was so that I could continue to feel bad for him. And because he would always message me ever since we broke up, like, oh, I'm not well. He would always play with death and be like, well, I'm going to die. I'm not doing well. And there was one time I tried to get him help, and then he was like, not taking it. He would text my mom, I'm not doing well, have Maya contact me, because I wouldn't respond. And it's just always the same cycle. And every time that, like, for example, when I announced my book, he did the same thing. He called my mom. I think I'm not going to be around much longer. And
oh my God.
And I don't play with death. So I'm like, if you say this, I'm going to try and help you no matter what you've done. And I think he took advantage of my family's kindness. And I was like, if you want to go back to rehab, I'll help you, even though, whatever. And not that I ever wanted to be back with him, but he's still somebody's child. He's somebody's brother. Like, if that were my brother, I would want someone to help him too. And so, but I always just, in the end, I felt like it was a manipulation. And I'm like, especially after everything you've done, I've told you to leave me alone. As of like recent events that have happened, I can't speak on legally, but like, it's just gotten so much worse. But yeah, I always just felt really bad. And I always just felt like because he would always say, sorry, this is such a long answer. I just like,
no, you're good.
But he would always just say, I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I can't live with myself. But then it's continuing to like try and traumatize me. And so I always just felt like it was just like a whole manipulation to maybe keep me from not saying anything, or keep me on his good side in a way.
So, or keep you at like an arm's length.
Yeah.
The messages telling you that like he might die. Like that's like such a like low level of manipulation and
Yeah.
so terrifying because it's like you feel so responsible for this person. Like if something happens, you're gonna feel really guilty about it, even though it's not your fault. Like you like are
Yeah.
your own person. You don't have to take care of this human who like has traumatized you. So that's like so messed up. I'm sorry you've had to
Yeah.
experience
I remember
that.
when he first did that, I was like, I would always, because I was always like, I know the lifestyle he lives, and there is a day where something bad is going to happen. So I would always be like, okay, he's saying these things. I have to help him because if I don't, I will never be able to live with myself if something does happen to him. Because, you know, as I said, he's a father, he has a family. Like, I just want to help. And, I mean, up even until my book was coming out, even one of his friends was calling me and my mom being like, oh, you know, isn't a good time for him. I don't think you should put the book out. You know, he's not doing well. And if something happens to him, not only are you going to blame yourself, but the whole world's going to blame you. And so I was like, just the fact that they just keep trying, I'm like, it is like you said, such a low fucking manipulation tactic. It's disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it has to be very heavy for her now that he unfortunately came to his demise. And a lot of the One Direction, you got to remember, they have that big fan base, just like a Justin Bieber. And so a lot of his fan base are coming at her all like, oh, see what you did? Why you not speaking out now? And you did this to him. And they're blaming her. This is not her fault. Again, this woman went through a lot with this man. A lot of views, a lot of manipulation. She went through a lot with this man. And again, he would use, I'm going to harm myself or unalive myself and I can't deal with this, to manipulate her and try to, you know, win her back. And it's unfortunate because she probably had to separate herself from him. Like completely, like cut him off. And like she said, this was a man that would communicate and talk to her family. So yeah, she could cut him off, but he's calling the family and telling them like, oh, I can't deal with this, I can't do this. And her talking about how somebody had called her and was all like, oh, don't do the book, this is not the right time. And it was a lot of manipulation going on just from all parties, all around. This woman has every right to tell her story. It's sad that people basically wanted her to shut up and not say anything. This was not her fault. She did not know this was going to happen to this man. The book was released in May. So I know a lot of people are like, well, it's because she released. No. The book was released in May. And he was with someone new already. And she was tired of being harassed and being bullied. She also mentioned with this group, the One Direction group, with their fan base, it seems like they prey on their fans because they know they'll be loyal to them and they'll be able to get away with stuff. And then they can also basically be harassed by their fan base, whoever, you know, attacks them or has anything negative to say. And so she talks about that too, as well in the interview. And then also about her personal life as well. So it was a good interview. I don't want to play the whole thing again. Shout out to the Internet is Dead podcast. Check it out on YouTube for the whole thing. But just knowing, yeah, don't look at TikTok. They are going in on her. What's up, Miss Barbara? So I have a question for you guys. Does she bear any responsibility? Do some of y'all feel like she bears any responsibility? Yes or no? Let's do a 30-second countdown and we'll be right back.
Is that song that they've been singing, freedom, freedom, maybe move, freedom, make your body move? Beyonce, was that already a song and she just adapted it to Kamala Harris? Well, I love it.
Yo, real quick, shout out to Make It Make Sense. I didn't even see this. My apologies. Make It Make Sense said, congratulations, 50K is amazing. You are one of the... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You are on the road to 100K. Content creation is not easy, and you are definitely solidified in the sector. Oh, that means a lot. Thank you. Yo, shout out to Make It Make Sense. It's so crazy because, like, a lot of people are like, how does Make It Make Sense know you? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Before Make It Make Sense was a content creator, he was just a subscriber. I don't know if he always wanted to do the YouTube thing, but it just kind of fell in his lap, and he did the studying, he looked around, and basically he's like a mixture of everyone who he has watched, and that's how he does his channel. You can tell, like, I see my little influence in there, the way he does his show and stuff like that. Now, I'm not now shut up, because y'all are trying to start some drama. I'm not taking credit for his success, because he is killing it. But what I'm saying is that, just like me, I can see little influences of other channels that I've, watched and was inspired by. So it goes around in a circle. So that's what I'm saying. But back to the situation. Y'all said no. Yeah. Well, if anything, tell the people on TikTok, like, leave this woman alone. She had every right to tell her story. Again, this man came out in 2021 and had talked about his addiction. When somebody has an addiction, you can't blame it on somebody else. They're going to have it either way. And the addiction was before her. So should we blame his girlfriend, his original girlfriend, who was on the X Factor when he was 16, and then they started dating when he was 18, and then had a baby at 19? Like, should we blame Cheryl Cole? I think that's what her name is. Oh, shut up. But yeah, Cheryl Cole. So should we blame Cheryl Cole? Because she was dating him, and he was 16, and then all of a sudden when he turned 18, that's when she started dating him. I mean, we could say, hell, that has something to do with it. Mind you, they have a baby. And also, I want to say prayers to his son, because, again, he has to deal with the reality that he doesn't have a dad. I think we don't talk about enough how sometimes when people are going through things, and when it comes to addiction, you feel this guilt, like, damn, I didn't do enough. Like, I should have did more. I should have did more to help this person. You can do all you do, but you do not have to lose yourself. You do not have to lose yourself in it. Just know that you can be proud of what you did and how you try to help. And then you got to let God do his thing. You got to let that person get the help they need. You give them the resources, but don't make that your life mission to save someone, because you're going to end up losing yourself. Be careful, you guys. Be careful out there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and switch it up to something fun real quick, because I know that was kind of heavy, but I just wanted to give you guys that. I didn't really talk about the Liam Payne situation, but yeah, it was a lot. All right, let's talk about Alexis Sky. I didn't get her picture up here, but this is what she said. She had an interview on a radio show, and she was like, I'm voting for Trump. And she said the reason why she was voting for Trump is because he had the money flowing around and all this other stuff. And oh, Lord. And of course, they talk about the stimulus checks and all that. But anyway, I wanted to play what Trump said about the Department of Education. Now, they always say Project 2025 is not his agenda. His agenda is Agenda 47, which Agenda 47 and Project 2025 both talk about getting rid of the Department of Education, by the way. But this is what he said on Fox and Friends.
Do with school choice also, but also separate from school choice, we're going to take